I'm Daniel, the past life regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
3, 2, 1. This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy Eternity Time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. It is time for the first of the season 425 inter-season episodes before the launch of season 5 at some point in the first quarter of 2025. Damn, we're up on 2025 already. Anyways, this episode is one I've been holding on to for about 2.5 years now. It was recorded back in the summer of 2022, and it was a holdover because, as you'll hear in the episode, I made a deal with one of the guests, whose name is Kaylan, about when the episode would be released. Kaylan has a voice that needs to be out there. So I said, I'll release this episode when you start a podcast. Now, it was something we talked about before, so it was not like it just came out of nowhere. But anyways, Kaylan is a frequent guest on the Multidimensional podcast, so I'm like, you're right, let's break the stalemate. That works. You're on all the time. You're out there doing your thing. You're doing great. So it's time to release this episode. And last thing about that, it's amazing how views change. While I'm largely the same person, there are things that I said in this episode that I don't... Evolved is the wrong word to use, but I've come a long way since then, and I see the world in a different way. Nothing I'm ashamed of. It's just different than it was before. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode with Kaylan and Carlos. And I want to give a quick shout out to Carlos also, Carlos is just such a cool dude. He has come such a long way since I met him 3 years ago. God, time flies. 2025, 3 years, time flies. It's just one of those. Man, Carlos has just grown so much, and I love the guy. He's great. I mean, Kaylan's great too, but just the two of them together. I mean, Kaylan, you're great. I just adore them. And I have a workshop coming up on December 21st with my co-host Jenny Sherman. And it's going to be about the seasons and the magic of the seasons. And of course, there's going to be a past life regression. So hope to see you there. Going to include the event details in the show notes. And with all of that said, if you would like to book a regression with me to discover who, when, and where you have been throughout time, you can reach me on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist or my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. And now, it's time to begin. Kaylan and Carlos, thanks so much for being here. How you guys doing?
So good. It's awesome to be here with you.
Super good.
I'm happy to have you guys. This is my first time that I'll be interviewing two people about a session at the same time. Simultaneous, sort of. Even though you guys had sessions on different days.
But it was a special experience. It was like all inclusive all together.
Yeah, it was. Huh.
Have you ever done that before? Like 2 days in a row, a couple? I feel like there was a lot of like, well, I mean, because I talked to you also after his session. So I feel like my session was like 2 days.
I've done that, but not the way that we did it for you guys. Like
Okay.
So for everyone listening, they live in San Diego. I'm in Los Angeles, and they got a hotel for a couple nights. So it was a destination session.
Yes. Oh my God. It totally was.
That was a good one. I like you guys.
Oh, we love you.
Okay, before I get too far in my nostalgia, first question for you guys. What is your favorite song about time and why?
So for me, it's not like the whole song in and of itself isn't about time, but it always makes me think about time, and it has a couple of lines about it. It's called I Lived by One Republic. Literally makes me cry every single time. But the line about time that always gets me is I owned every second that this world could give. And I just love that because it's like time is happening to us it's happening for us, regardless of, our perspective on it. And so if we can own it and say, like, this is for me, this is happening for me, not just happening around me, I feel like that's the key to living a beautiful, wonderful, full life. And I love that song. Of
Thank you for sharing.
course. Do you have a favorite song about time?
I never thought about it, but I think it's this Bob Marley, Three Little Things. I think it's called, but like everything.
I was thinking of Three Little Birds.
Oh, Three Little Birds.
Is that the
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Like, don't worry about a thing because every little thing is going to be all right.
It's
Mhm.
gonna be right. I love that.
Don't you have I think you have a reel singing that song, don't you? Or am I making that up?
I don't think I've done that one yet.
I must have had a dream about it. A dream seeing you singing.
Is that a premonition dream that you're having?
Totally.
Got some funky ones coming up.
I'm excited. I live for those. We always like see them and show each other. Like, oh, did you see the new one?
Oh, Daniel. Well, thanks for sharing, guys. Those were some, Ryan Tedder, he's just a lyrical genius.
Truly.
There's something so deep about the Bob Marley song in the tie to time, because it really is about being in the moment and just not worrying about what's going to come tomorrow, because every little thing is going to be all right.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I love that you said that.
Yeah.
It's a perfect one.
Thank you.
Brings
I
you
mean, it truly is. I always try to make those stretches with songs. I think there's some time association here, and that's never one that's crossed my mind having to do with time, but it really does. Wow. That was a good one.
Good job.
Air high five. Okay. So who are Kaylan and Carlos?
So we are a couple that lives in San Diego. We have like really different backgrounds. It's kind of fun. I was born and raised in Oklahoma in a pretty small town. He was born and raised in Venezuela, and not such a small town, but also not the capital. My native language is English, his is Spanish. Both of us obviously speak both now. And yeah, we absolutely love San Diego. It's like everything about our personality now. But we were living in Spain kind of before the pandemic. And yeah, we love to travel. We are both extremely, I would say, like, we're both extremely spiritual, but in so many different facets, like just kind of finding different ways to study the mystic arts, both of us in our own different way. And we're both very different in that, but also very similar. Like, for example, he really enjoys like meditation and energy healing. And I practice tarot and do things with crystals, and I do a lot of spell work. But like the way that we kind of do it together is really, really interesting. So yeah, that's kind of us. We're just living life, bopping around. We have a small business. And yeah, I feel like we, as with a lot of people in the world right now, we're just kind of allowing things to unfold. We've had to do a lot of pivoting the past couple of years, and are still super excited to see what's in store for us and what we're supposed to be aligning with as we continue to go.
Let's talk about your business a little bit. What is it?
So it's called Tangerine Sons Apothecary. I started it with a lot more focus on botanicals and like essential oils and herbs and stuff like that. But pretty soon after I started, focus more on crystals. Crystals are it's a whole rabbit hole of spirituality that has really, really taught us so much about healing and our own innate power. And I think that most people, when they think of my shop, associate me with crystals. But as I kind of went down that path of having my own business, and obviously he's just as involved with the business as I am, but it's like my baby. I'm the one who does all of like the social media and the reels and all of those things, but he is 100%, like I could not do it without him. But yeah, so I started reading tarot. That was something that I felt really, really led and drawn to, and opened up so many doors, opened up like just a waterfall of my intuition for me when I started doing that. And now I also do art. Art is something that has been really near and dear to my heart since I was very, very small, and had like a lot of blockages that I didn't really even realize that I had. And even my regression kind of allowed me to blaze past those directly and indirectly. And so now I also do tarot readings and I use crystals and art in those as well. So I kind of just take everything and yes. So thanks, Daniel. Just kind of take everything and use it all the time, a little mix of everything depending on what the client needs. But so yeah, goods and services for my business. And who knows what's in store? Lots of things in store. But yeah.
Well, and you have a voice that is going to become very well known in the coming years.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Yes, a podcast is in the works, TBD. But
It's called TBD? That's a cool title.
That would actually
what does it stand for?
Why did you and your title making for me? I don't know yet. But TBD, I actually really like that because I feel like we're always trying to.
Jeez, that actually is pretty good.
That is really good, right? Because we're always trying to solidify everything. And it's like, what if we just said TBD? And we're just like, whatever, like we'll figure it out when we're supposed to figure it out. It's cool.
See what happens when I try to be funny?
And it's just like, it really hits. It's like, okay, wait, let me pause. Did you just come up with my second title? Guys, he already came up with a really good title, but.
Well, that one was already used. So it was
good. Someone used it already. It was that good.
I think that was probably one that I'd heard before though. And then it kind of just went in my head of thinking, yeah. So I can't claim credit for that one.
Okay. But it was still a really great idea. We have to give you that.
I appreciate that. I like credit where credit's due. I just can't take credit for that one. But TBD, yeah, I'll take that one.
I really like that. You guys,
it really is good.
First. We're in real time.
Okay, as I was patting myself in the head mentally, or maybe on the back. So, is your shop online?
Yes, my shop is all online, and that's kind of a cool little random story as well. Because since it was all online, that kind of allowed us to be able to move to San Diego when the door opened. So yeah, it's all online. I actually just did my first in-person event with infusing tarot and art readings together a couple of weeks ago for the summer solstice. So I definitely am looking forward to doing more like pop-ups and in-person events. But yeah, it's really, really, really nice being able to connect to people all over the world, literally just because of a website and through, our cell phones, these little devices that we carry around all the time. It's crazy because yeah, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy being able to hold space for people as well remotely, because I feel like sometimes in person, especially if you're new to any type of spiritual healing, or even just like, I don't know, just sharing about your life with someone who's a stranger, it can feel really overwhelming. But if you're not in the same room as them, it's almost like you have more space to open up. At least that's been my experience on both sides, like receiving things from others and also giving it to others.
So as everyone's listening to your past life experience, where can they go browse your website right now?
Right now, they can go to www.tangerinesonsapothecary.com. I know it's a really long name, but yeah, that's my website. And it has information on like crystals that you can purchase. It also has all of my information on all of the readings that I offer. And you can also go to my Instagram. It's the same, Tangerine Sons Apothecary.
Cool. TBD.
TBD. I love it.
All right, let's talk past life regression. You guys ready?
So ready. Let's dive in.
Why is it that you guys wanted to have a session?
Okay, so this is a really cool story. So many synchronicities led us to having a session, and specifically to having it with you. So my really good friend, Carrie, she is an awesome astrologer, had a session with you. I believe it was October, November-ish. And I had already been thinking about receiving a session because my mentor had suggested it to me in a reading that she had done for me. And I remember we were speaking on doubt, and she was just telling me, like there's some energy that you have surrounding all of these doubts that you're having that like you're not able to push through them. And I don't know what it is. Like it's not being revealed to me right now. And she said, but I do feel like if you were to do a past life regression, there's just kind of this like wall in front of you, like a drywall, and you're just going to like punch completely through it and it's going to just like shatter. And she's like, but I don't know what that is. All that I'm being given is you should do a past life regression. I was like, okay. And I also in that moment kind of knew that I wasn't supposed to just immediately go look for it. Like I just knew, okay, whenever the time is right, like I'll find the right person or whatever. And within a couple of weeks, Carrie posted about her experience with you. So I immediately texted her because I just really love and trust her. And I know that anyone that she trusts to do any type of spiritual service for her, I trust as well. And then I emailed you and we got in touch. And I still didn't know like exactly timing wise when I was going to be able to or want to do the session. But then, so this was November when I reached out to you. Then in December, Carlos and I were heading home, or actually this is on the way back from Oklahoma. We had driven there. It's like 21 hours from Southern California, driven to Oklahoma for Christmas. And then we were driving home and I was like, okay, let's listen to some podcasts. So we were going to listen to Aaliyah's podcast because it's one of my favorite podcasts. And I saw that you were on there and I was like, oh my God. And so I didn't even tell Carlos. I had told him like that I was in contact with a past life regressionist, that I wanted to do that at some point, but I didn't tell him when I put the podcast like that it was you or who you were. I just pressed play. So we're listening to this podcast where you are talking about your experience and so many other things. Like that podcast is such gold. If anyone hasn't listened to it, they need to.
That's Spiritual Shit, episode 106, I believe.
Perfect. So we listened to that. And I remember we were driving through the mountains of New Mexico. It's literally sunset. It's like this beautiful moment. And he looked at me and he was like, wait, is this the guy that you were going to have a regression with? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm doing that shit. Like immediately was like, I'm doing that. And usually, like I said, like both of us are, extremely involved in each other's spiritual lives, but we usually express it and experience it in like such a different way that he doesn't. Like I get readings from different spiritual practitioners of all different types all the time. And usually if he gets a reading, it's me being like, hey, I think you should get this. And he's like, okay, but never like him being like, I want this. And this was the first time he was like, oh my God, like if you're doing this, I have to do it. So that's when I messaged you back and I was like, all right, let's try to plan for, when we can do this. And I just felt like I wanted to do it in person. I just had that feeling that I wanted to do it, even though it's not like you were, 5 minutes away, but I wanted to do it in person. So that's when we kind of got everything set up and got the hotel and came to do our session.
So I think I mentioned to you guys that when you shared that with me about you being on the road trip, that was one of the most validating things I'd ever heard with regards to my presentation of the world. Mm-hmm. Because when I'm giving interviews or even for this show, I know I've already got Kaylan. Yeah. I know she's already on board with the things that I'm talking about. All I can do at that point is like really lose her. But who I'm really trying to speak to is Carlos. I'm trying to speak to the person who's in the other seat because I want couples to be able to not, always go about it the same way you guys did by quite literally doing your session back to back together, where when you're finished, the other one comes in the room to hear all about it. And but where you guys could just share that together. So that was so validating for me to hear when you said like, yeah, that's what Carlos was on. I'm like, yes, it worked.
It totally worked. And it worked like within a few minutes of you talking too. Like it was like 10 minutes of the recording. And he's like, who is this guy? I want to meet him.
So I'm so glad you shared that with me. And I was even more grateful just to meet with you guys and have that experience with both of you, because it was really special just because of the openness the two of you share and how great you are together. Like you guys are you're so cool, and your dog is amazing too.
Yeah, so, there too. You got to meet our baby.
It's just to paint the picture for everyone a little bit. You guys had a nice room. It wasn't huge, but your dog is. So,
and he's also like so intense. Like when you would walk in, he's like all over you, and you're like, okay, it's a good thing that I like this dog, because otherwise,
he's this gentle giant that comes running at you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Big dog, big experience. Awesome.
And he was with us the whole time too. Yeah. So it was just like, it was a sweet, but like very small side room that, the other one would just like go in there while the other one was having the session. and just like put on headphones. I was actually listening to your podcast, remember? When Carlos is doing his session, I was like, I'm just going to go still have Daniel time.
That was a good couple days. I appreciate you guys. Okay. Before I continue fawning over you, because I'm even looking at the timestamp right now, what came up for you guys in the regression?
Oh my God. So many things. I guess I'll talk about my actual past lives that I saw first and then the higher self portion. But I saw myself in a lot of different scenarios. And it was absolutely nothing like what I expected, but that was kind of the whole point. I saw myself in the body of a warrior, kind of like, to give people a visual, the first thing that I thought of, like when I was seeing this, was like Brad Pitt and Troy vibes. But then also we were just watching Thor on last week, and I was like, I kind of was Thor. I'm just gonna tell myself that I was like Thor. But like I don't know why. I had blonde hair and blue eyes. But anyway, yeah, I saw myself as a warrior, and I didn't see any of really the war scenes, or at least not that I remember, but I remember the feeling afterwards. And it was just this sense, like this whole knowing of like, okay, we won the war, but what was the point of all of that? And also, just for some context, my South Node is in Aries. So I've spent a lot of my life kind of asking this question of like, yeah, you won the argument. Like, no one's saying that you didn't win the argument, but what else did you lose, right? And so that was like a very potent lesson that has still stayed with me, obviously.
So for anyone listening, just really quickly, if you have the South Node with Aries or any other strong placements there with regards to the South Node and Aries, I oftentimes see past lives that are associated with war. Now, it's not always, but it does make sense. And I think that this is also where some astrologers get it wrong when they talk about how it's an indication of where you're coming from in your immediate past life. Now, I don't believe they all say that, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them do. So I don't believe that the South Node is always an indication of your most immediate past life. Then again, there could be other correlations because Aries isn't just war.
Right.
So I believe that it can encapsulate more than one life, because for mine specifically, it's in Scorpio. Yeah. My last life had stuff to do with Scorpio, and there are also many other lives that had to do with it. So that's what Kaylan's talking about. It's an indication of where you've been in past life or past lives.
That's a really good comment, because I had always heard that it was the most recent as well. And I was actually thinking about that because, I mean, obviously whatever. That's like a whole other different topic. But I was thinking about that. I was like, because that life specifically was a long time ago. I don't have a frame of reference to tell you like, oh, it was 1200 or 1400, but like it was a long time ago. Like,
and again, we're also talking in a linear sense, but who knows if time is linear.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that exactly. Linear sense, non-linear sense. But yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because I have heard lots of people say it's your most recent past life.
So yeah, sorry for jumping in. So you were talking about the war qualities, and then what was it all for?
Yeah. What was it all for? And that definitely stuck with me, because it's like the feeling of winning. Like I was the last person standing, but still just being like, what was the point of all of that? And kind of just reflecting on that in any type of discussion or fight, or just in a lot of different ways. Like, what am I bringing? What's the real goal, I guess, of whatever we're going into? I also saw myself in a life where I was royalty, and I was in a palace, and got some really good insight into kind of the ways in which I seek to help people and the ways in which I seek to meet people where they are. Because there was a moment where I was speaking to the working class within the palace. I mean, essentially they would have been like servants or slaves. And I can't remember exactly what I wanted to do, but I just remember that they were like, we can't talk to you. Like, we can't, this interaction is not okay. And I was really sad because I couldn't do anything to help them. And I remember that you led me through like some releasing around that, because it's also, I think it's kind of twofold in the sense that like, it's encouraging to know kind of where my heart for other people in different, whether it be socioeconomic situations or whatever, comes from, but also understanding that like the work that we choose to do in whatever current life we're in is specific to that moment. And we can always seek to do things in the life that we are in. And we don't have to feel this burden just because we can't completely make the whole system that we exist in come crashing down. As much as that would be nice, it's not like all or nothing. You know, it's not like, oh, I either have to like let all of these servants that are working in my palace go free, or I did absolutely nothing to help them, right? It's like the kindness that I show them on a daily level in that life is also making a difference and is also, you know, reminding them of their humanity, even though I'm not, again, setting them free the way that I would like to. You also had me look in the mirror in that one. And that was such a trippy, cool experience because it was like I could see myself in that life and also myself as I am now. Like it was almost like I morphed like back and forth. And that was really, really cool. Those are some of the more like powerful visuals that I can still, like if I close my eyes, I can still see them as if it was a dream that I had last night. Some of the other ones are a little bit more fleeting. Like I remember like little moments and pictures. Like I remember as well being somewhere in like a desert in the Middle East. And one of my best friends from this life was there with me. Like we were children. So that was really cool. I remember that as well, but I don't remember as much like as from the lessons of those lives as I do these two that have like really, really stuck with me.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
What else came up for you?
Okay. So also in the latter part of the session was super interesting because again, with expectations, I think that I expected the session to feel more like not an out of body experience, but I expected it to feel like I was tapping into something other than myself or something unfamiliar, almost as if I would be channeling something else other than me, as opposed to tapping just into my higher self. And so this is where like the majority of my takeaways came from, because so I asked all of these questions, right? I had so many questions. Like, I don't know if like how many questions people normally ask, but I've
had more than you.
Okay.
I mean, people have wrote more than you did.
Okay. Well, like just for reference though, how many questions did you have? Like 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like, I don't know, like 50, something like that.
Yeah, I've had more than 50.
Oh my God. Well, so all of these questions though, I was not surprised by the answers that my higher self gave. And while I was in the session still felt very connected to everything that my higher self was saying, which caused me afterwards to doubt the experience, because I was like, okay, it can't be that simple. Like I just kept thinking, that was the thought loop, was it can't be that simple. It can't be that easy. And so that's where it was nice to also see you the second day and to talk to you about that after Carlos's session, because I knew, like, and I was just now reading my notes, actually, I knew that it was that simple and that was the whole point, but I needed that validation from you. Like, I really needed someone to tell me. Do you remember what you said?
I just want to set the picture for everyone really quick, because we talked for a couple hours after Carlos's session and you guys were both sitting on the bed and Carlos was just, laying back, just kind of sitting there, still taking everything in from his session. And then you and me, we're just going at it and talking, and he's just,
Totally.
So the question was, do I remember what I said to you? I know I said a lot to you that day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell everyone. So basically, I just had this realization. Well, because you told me, you were like, I think that the reason you feel so connected to what your higher self is saying is because these are questions that you've already sat with. Like, you've already sought this guidance from your higher self. So like, yeah, the messages don't surprise you, nor does your own voice, like your own inner voice, surprise you. And just another little aside, I've also started calling my higher self my deepest self in other moments because of the session, because first of all, of the way that it felt physically, like in that state of such like pure relaxation that you put me into, it was like I was dropping into myself, not like reaching outward for something that maybe seems like unattainable or it seems like hard to like grab onto. And anyway, I was asking myself these questions and you were like, yeah, like you're a person that sits with these questions a lot. And so I was like, yeah, but can it really be that simple? Like they're all just like appearing to me like just so easily. Like I'm not surprised by any of them. And you were like, you know what I'm going to say to that voice? Shut the fuck up. And like, it was true. Like, no, but like those words were a spell for me because it was truly like, I knew you're going to say that before you said it. And it was what like my higher self already obviously knew, but because of expectations. And I had done this in so many other ways too, like in the process of me accepting that I have psychic gifts, accepting that I am capable of reading tarot for myself and other people. Like I had come up against these questions, right? Of like, can it really be this simple though? Like this information is arriving to me. Like, is this it? And because of expectations based on, I don't really know, past lives, what society says, had always thought that it needed to be, I always use the word sparkly. I'm like, oh, it needs to be more sparkly. Like when I receive a vision, it needs to be like as if I'm watching a movie, like that tangible. And it's like, that can happen sometimes, but the fact that you think that it has to happen like that for it to be valid or for it to be like real in your life, like that is a limitation that you're creating for yourself. And yeah, the whole theme of my session, both the lives that I experienced and the tapping into my higher self, like the whole theme was trust yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting and it's so beautiful because every single thing that has happened to me since that has been a different like version of that realization and of like choosing to live in that though, and not just saying like, okay, yeah, I trust myself, being like, all right, let's start jumping off of some more, metaphorical cliffs where it's like you have to actually trust yourself that your wings are gonna carry you wherever you're going, wherever that thing is, and has obviously been so rewarding and obviously was part of that punching through the wall that my mentor was referencing before it ever happened. There was something else I was going to say about that. I can't really remember, but yeah, the trust yourself was and is extremely, extremely potent. And it started before my session and obviously continues, but the session for sure is like this through line that I can just remember very tangibly and potently, that if doubts ever do come up, it's like, remember what you've been through. Like, remember your time traveling experience. Like, you don't need to doubt that. You don't need to doubt that person that went through all of that. Like, she's right here. She's in you, There
are so many things that I'm so glad that you brought up. And I think it's really important to point out also for everyone that Kaylan is one of those people who had, I would say that you were right at the top of the wave. Even coming into the session, you were just ready to go. Mm. So I think that's important just to kind of shine a light on, because when you bring up how deep the higher self portion can feel and be, it made me think about how I'm often very nervous when I'm recording with someone and they're talking about the higher self portion, because the way they're saying it, I'm like, this is exactly how it went down. But I could just imagine what everyone is thinking right now when they're putting this visualization in their head of what they think that experience looks like. Mm-hmm. And it's this, but it's so much more or less than that.
Yeah.
It's such a hard way, or it's hard to comprehend it, let alone convey.
For sure.
Just the beauty and the simplicity of it, because it is incredibly profound. But it's still you.
Exactly. But that's like why it's so powerful, because that beyond the session, I don't need you. And you said this a lot during our session as well. Like, you're like, I'm just the facilitator, but it's within you, And I think that had it been something that felt, like I said in the beginning, like I was channeling something else, or it was like out of body, or like I almost expected to not remember things that my higher self would have said. If it would have been like that, it would have felt so much more daunting to try to tap into that again, right? Whereas it did feel so easy, and it felt, and granted, of course, like it was easier to tap into with your help and your assistance, and even just like all of the different prep that you do before and after the session. But it's still, like you said, it's still me. Like I can recognize my own voice. And the more that we work with our higher self in whatever capacity that may be, the more that we learn to recognize that voice and the more that it feels safe. And so we come back to it, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think you're also a prime example of someone who is so naturally gifted, but just need to step out of your way from time to time.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's something that's universal for people like you, though, because I think we'll just call it the magic comes so easy to you that there is only really one thing prohibiting you from fully embracing it, which is
me.
You. Yeah. But it's not a bad thing either, because I think I almost feel it could be dangerous to tap too fully into it without going through the process of having the doubt, because then you just become an arrogant asshole.
For real. Yeah. It just becomes a bypassing situation.
Exactly. So I feel that you are so relatable in the things that you're saying right now and probably resonating with a lot of people who are listening, because you are just this badass girl. I was going to say, I don't know, is it okay to say badass chick? I don't know. I'm still trying to toe the line between what's, I mean, it's me.
I accept it. I accept it as a compliment.
So you're still this badass chick who's just this, this local San Diego girl.
Yeah.
The girl you'd see at the local coffee shop or your local crystal shop.
Yeah.
Or at the movie theaters. I don't know if you eat at McDonald's or anything like that, but you may see someone like you.
But Carlos does.
Yeah. You're normal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's relatable.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking about that too, right before we got on here, and how I'm so thankful that I've gone through this, because I know that it's kind of like it, or I mean, at least I haven't heard other people talk about it in this way. And so I think that that's a really important thing, is making spirituality more relatable, because especially for me, a person that grew up within a religion where it was not relatable at all, it was like, you're so down here and everything you're working towards is so up here. Making it accessible for people is really important to me, because it's like, it's within us. And it's one thing to tell someone that, but it's another to show them the way, and also to show them that it's okay for it to be hard. Telling someone, oh, the answers are within you, and then just acting like it's that simple, that's doing them a disservice as well, because it's like, okay, you've left them with absolutely no tools to access themselves, And so having been through it myself, not that I have all the answers, but I know how hard it is. And someone seeing, the way that I've gone through it, and I don't know, I just feel like it makes them understand that it's possible for them as well.
So can you clarify a little more about what's hard?
The trusting yourself.
The trusting yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
fine. The fully, like the surrendering to trusting yourself.
Yeah. It's difficult. Look, it's something I even have an issue with. As we're recording this on a Thursday afternoon in July, I just had my own session 2 days ago.
Oh.
And there is this thing that's happened in my sessions for the past, 7-8 years, where I question the hell out of everything that comes through. I'm like, come on, really? Really? Come on. So my higher self does this thing with what I call the flashes, where it will start flashing as a sign of confirmation.
Okay.
And I had one of those sessions the other day that was, come on, really? What are those? And where I was getting really hung up was I wasn't getting the flashes. So when it came to the portion where I was talking to the higher self, which I didn't do the process that I do, I did another method. So it's not quite the same. So I'd say it's the equivalent of the higher self. The question was, well, why wasn't I getting flashes? Mm-hmm. And their answer is, do you really need them now? Like, are you really? We've been doing this for years. Mm-hmm. Why can't you just accept it? Why can't you just trust yourself this moment? Okay, you know what? That's probably a good point. I'm probably should at this, talk to intergalactic collectives.
Seriously. Like by this point.
By this point, you think that, because I have an expression for that. I just call it another Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it's still so hard for me to wrap my head around. Like in the Galila Collective episode, I'd even brought up, like, why is it so hard for me to wrap my head around this? this is just another Tuesday for me. Why can't I just wrap my head around this? But I can't fully do it. There's something that prohibits me from fully wrapping my head around it. Yet there's something about having that message delivered to me 2 days ago, which is just trust it already.
Yeah.
Or wait, 3 days. Or this Friday. God, you think I'd be on top of that?
What time is,
Time's my thing. That's my forte. Like, I can tell you what I had for breakfast 17 years ago. Okay, maybe not that extreme.
Okay, I was like, well, I'm an educated guess. I don't know about that.
I have a wicked memory for stuff, dates, and times and places. So for me to mess that one up when it was 3 days ago and not 2. But it was weird. Yesterday felt like a Friday, yet today feels like a Thursday.
They just flipped. They just decided.
And I'm going to answer some thoughts of people right now. No, I don't think I switched timelines. I think that I just had a weird perception of time for some reason. Maybe I did, but no, let's not jump to that.
Yeah, let's not just go to that.
I messed it up. So I guess it's really my way of saying for everyone, even for someone who isn't as deeply ingrained in all this as I am, I still have my doubts. I still have my doubts about my capacity to receive in that space when I've seen no indication that I shouldn't trust it. So it's okay. It's okay if you don't fully trust yourself. Like, it's okay to be there, and you don't need to beat up on yourself for it. Because, look, I'm not saying I'm the cream of the crop here, but this is my world. This is my life. This is what I'm in and day out. So, and I've been doing it for years. So it's okay if it takes you time, because I'm still on that journey too. There hopefully will come a day when I can just finally sit back and be like, all right, I don't need no flashes anymore.
Flashes, what are those?
Flashes.
One of those in years.
Well, we don't need flashes. I'm going to bring it back to the future somehow.
Oh my God.
But it was really cool to see you in that process, because I remember even in the pre-session, I'm pretty sure you were vocalizing some of those doubts that you were having.
Yeah.
And then you really found yourself in a place where, like, without revealing too much about the process of bringing in the higher self, there are indications that I see about how deep someone is. And I usually have my marking point of the average point where I get a person in. Yeah, it happened pretty quick for you, if I remember.
Yeah. No, I remember you saying that, because there was also like a weed eater outside, remember? And you were like, yeah, you were just like, whatever.
Yeah, that's right. Because they were taking care of the building that day. It was pretty loud.
It was like right outside our window.
So I guess it's important to point that not the gardening that was taking place, but for someone like you who really was questioning, not full. I mean, look, I've dealt with people who were much more on the questioning side, but where even though you had your doubts, you were still able to find yourself in a place not that much later where you were able to let go that much, to let it come in that quickly, which is great. I thought that was so cool, because even beforehand, I was thinking to myself, this may take another minute.
Yeah. I honestly think that so much of that, though, was also like, maybe not necessarily on a conscious level, but definitely on a subconscious level, like watching him as well, because like he was like way more of like an immediate, like right after his session was like, holy shit, like this just changed absolutely everything. And I've never felt like more connected, and I've never felt like I've had more insight. And so for me, I don't even want to say in like a competitive way. Obviously, I'm sure that there's like some of that there, but it's like, okay, yeah, like he is like 100% completely like sold on this experience. Like, remember, he was like, when can I schedule my next session? Like, we got to do this once a week. And so it was like, and I think that paired with the fact that like, I just trusted you so much and like felt the love and support from you, that it was just like, yeah, why am I so in my head about this? Like, this was really magical, everything that just happened. Like, I want to be able to actually use it and like alchemize it, right? I don't want it to just be this cool thing that I did. Like, I want to be able to take it in my toolbox with me, you know?
So let's focus on that now, because what I always tell people, well, one, the primary thing is don't have any expectations.
Right.
Because whatever you think is going to happen, I can promise you it's not going to be that.
It's not.
But what I also say is it's up to you what you decide to do with this after the fact. Like, I'm just the dude who asks questions and holds the space. Do I hold a good space? Yeah. Do I ask the right questions? Yeah. But ultimately, that's all that I do, because it's about what you decide to do with that after the fact. Mm-hmm. So what are the changes that have taken place in your life because of the changes that you've made?
Oh my God, so many. So,
and everyone, please listen to this right now, because this to me is the most important part, is the application of what you decide to do with the information. I can't stress that enough. It's about what you decide to do with it. You could do nothing, or you could take it to the max. So please, if there's any takeaway, just feel that while Kaylan is about to share.
I feel like for me, this is because the trust thing is like so multifaceted, right? Like, it could literally be about anything. It could be about something that is spiritual. It could be about trusting yourself to make the right decision for what career you want to have, right? It could be very everyday, or something that's like a once in a lifetime experience. And I think that's something that has been so potent about the experience for me was that you always have a choice. Like, you have a choice to sit with yourself and be like, I'm going to choose to trust myself. Because why not? Because I know what it feels like to doubt myself. I know very well what that feels like. But I also could choose to say, all of these signs and all this experience that I just had are pointing towards, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what the lesson is to trust yourself. So I can choose to jump and say, okay, I'm just going to try this on for now, right? I'm just going to try on what it feels like to be like, you know what? I am a badass magical bitch. Like, let's go do this thing, you know? And once you start to actually live in that, what you start to do is you start to gather evidence that that's true. And you actually have this life experience. And now it's not just, okay, this experience that I had in a session, it's I'm going towards this, and everything else starts to align in that direction as well. And I've used this with lots of different things. Like, you know, I think sometimes as well, we get caught up in spirituality about like, when are we going to quote unquote get there? Like, even you said, not that this is bad, but you were like, maybe there will come a day where I don't need the flashes anymore. It's like, we're always trying to, because we're trying to improve and we're like, okay, I want to get wherever quote unquote there is, we're forgetting the magic of everything that we're learning and integrating now. And the ways that I've been able to see how I trust myself has, like I said, it's shown up absolutely everywhere. My tarot readings, and again, I trusted it before. If I don't think that because of my integrity, I would have been able to read for people if I didn't trust it before. But now I trust it so much that my readings are so different. Like, I think that they used to be a lot more cookie cutter. And it's like, oh, I want to make sure that I'm giving them this, this, and this, because this is what they probably need to feel supported. And now it's just like, if I do something that's totally out of the box that I've never done before, I completely trust it because I know that that's what that person needs. And again, I have the decision to say, I could doubt it still. I could sit afterwards and think about it and be like, you know, maybe I need to, you know, go back to being more cookie cutter. But I also have the decision to trust and to just say that presented itself because it was supposed to present itself. And guess what? It's going to be a lot more useful for my journey to just continue to make the decision to trust it, because I do believe that now. And again, I'm not just going to sit here and say like, oh, it's overnight. Like, oh, my session happened and I felt the shift and everything just aligned perfectly. No, but there was a market shift. And then I chose to take different actions afterwards. And once you start to take those, I say aligned action, right? You can start to see how, yes, like all of the different actions that you're taking, they're all lining up to show you that there's a different way, that there is a way to trust yourself. And then the one, I'll say one more thing about that has also been the art, right? I briefly mentioned art, and I, for so long, had been in the camp of like, that part's not even really about trust. It's just about the doubt. Like, oh, well, what if people don't like my art, or what if it doesn't resonate, or whatever. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to choose to trust that I have been, whatever, that I have been given a gift of creativity, or that at least the creative spark has shown up for me right now. I'm going to choose that it's happening for a reason. And I'm just going to post this or send it to someone or whatever the thing may be. And guess what? I get so much confirmation. People are like, oh my God, this speaks to me so much. And this doesn't have to just be painting, right? Like writing is art as well. Everyone knows this, but just creative expression in whatever way that happens to come. And every time that I've been on the verge of doubting myself and I choose instead to just say, fuck you. I literally just say, fuck you to the doubt. And it kind of personifies it a little bit and makes it a little easier to just be like, go away, go sit down. And choosing instead to be like, okay, I'm just going to do it. It's been so rewarding. And again, I wouldn't have been able to do an in-person event and connect with beautiful people who I also got to paint for in person. Like if you would have told me before my session that I would be doing that, I would have been like, maybe in 5 years. Like, sure, that sounds like something I want to do. I don't know how to get there. You get there just by making the daily decisions to trust yourself and just say F you to the doubt.
That was the height of my professionalism saying.
Hey, it was obviously the way that I needed to receive that, right? That's
yeah, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like I'm much less brash with the things that I say, but it's also trusting the intuition of, I think this is the way that this person will get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm very good at trusting myself in that respect.
That's awesome though. See, that's part of it. Because like if you didn't, you would be so much more like, you'd just be boring. You know what I mean? Like you would just be saying you would be saying different things, but in the same way to different people. And that's like, I could receive the message a different way, but it wouldn't be as potent. It wouldn't be as, like I said, it was literally like a spell. Like you said that and I was like, words are magic. Like, there you go.
I'm not your cookie cutter past life regression. Again, there's this feeling right now where I think this is important to point out that, as I'm sure everyone can tell from listening to Kaylan, she's a go-getter. She spotted an issue and she went for it. And I understand that not everyone has that natural ability to do it. So it's okay if it takes you a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. Even if it did take Kaylan the 5 years, like it would have been okay. Because Absolutely. That may just be her personality to go and get it that much quicker. But everyone is on their own timetable. Mm-hmm. So if it takes you a little longer, it's okay. Like it's okay. So I don't want anyone to be discouraged by that.
Definitely.
With that said though, when Kaylan finally launches TBD, listen to her. It will be inspirational. I mean, come on, let's call a spade on that one. You're going to rock that.
I do. And I can say that now, right? Like I totally can. And yeah, I just thank you so much for providing the space, not only today, but of course during our session. And obviously it has completely changed like both of, and oh my God, just the way that we are able to relate to each other after seeing each other in such a vulnerable it is multidimensional, but like everything, all of the multis in just such a different way. And like literally through time, we had said since we met that we had experienced multiple lives together. And that was before I even believed in multiple lives. I just like meeting him was my like proof. Like I know this soul, but then being able to experience it together, even though, did we experience lives together? I don't think we did, but just seeing both of our processes through that, like has completely allowed our relationship to evolve in like such a beautiful way. So couples therapy, no, get a couples past life regression together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with that, but have to point out, I'm not a couples therapist.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a past life regressionist.
Go to therapy. I'm not saying don't go to therapy. Please do whatever is best for you and your individual and your partner. Okay.
Could be massively beneficial, but just not a couples therapist. But again, I think it could help.
Yeah, exactly. It totally could help. Yeah. And I also think that what you were saying about like, don't be hard on yourself if it takes you a little bit longer. Like, also remember that I've had so many different, like, there were probably so many times that I didn't go get XYZ, that I didn't schedule the regression, right? And again, because everyone is on their own timetable. And I think one of the most important lessons that I've learned throughout all of this as well is that judging yourself only makes it exponentially worse. So if you can at least sit with yourself and say, I recognize that there's something that I do want to go get, but I'm just not there yet, but I hold that space for myself and I hold myself in grace, like you'll be able to go get it so much faster than if you were just being hard on yourself, which is what you were saying. If you were just like, oh, like, I just hate that I can't go get it. Like, I'm not like whatever person. And we fall into comparison. It's like, if you can just understand that your timetable is your timetable, you're the only person living your life. So it should only ever matter to you what you feel like. And if you're not there yet, it's okay. You'll get there. But yeah, you have to have that grace for yourself in the process for sure. Well, and I'm not saying that I've always been good at that, but I try to be better now.
I see you're doing pretty well.
Thank you.
I think that's probably a great place to end it. So I want to thank you both so much for coming on. And where can everyone find you?
Yeah, so definitely connect with me on Instagram. I love connecting with people on there. It's Tangerine Sons Apothecary. My website is also tangerinesonsapothecary.com. I also have a Patreon that is patreon.com/ I think it's Tangerine Sons Apothecary. It might just be Tangerine Sons. I should have checked. But it's in my link in my bio on Instagram. So if you go to Instagram or my website, you'll find everything from there in the form of various links. And then TBD later.
So you want to know the real jerk thing that I'm going to do right now?
Oh, what?
I'm not going to release this until you relaunch your podcast.
Oh my God. Okay. So that I can just add. Sorry, that's never happened to me before. I didn't know how to stop that.
You know why it's never happened is because that was coming through as confirmation that.
Yeah, it's like, there you go. That's our little pause. So he'll edit in there like, here's where you can find TBD at the same time.
See, that's the kind of jerk that I can be.
Okay, well,
I'm not gonna release this until you launch your podcast.
I'm gonna hold it over your head.
Just watch me. So with that said, go check out TBD or whatever it may be called because I'm going to have it in the show notes.
It has to be TBD now. Like, this is iconic. This is so iconic.
Go check out TBD because it's released now because that's how stubborn I can be.
The Taurus, says the Taurus.
I have 4 placements to Taurus.
I know. I was like, I know it's Taurus sun and moon, but I feel like there's more in there somewhere.
So I bring that up just to show how serious I am about holding the release of this until you launch.
He really believes in us, you guys. So come along for the ride.
Thank you guys so much for coming on and go check out TBD.
Thank you so much.
You.
Bye.
Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.